Hello and welcome to episode 2 of Turnkey Life and Leadership Podcast. I'm your host, Juanita Corry Jackson, and I'm excited to be here with you on episode 2. So, welcome, welcome, welcome. Listen, as you're joining, as you're watching this video, share it with somebody else, right? Today, we're going to talk about 7 principles of leadership and I believe they're important topics that we're going to talk about today. So invite somebody to come and join you. Again, I'm Juanita Corry Jackson. I'm the CEO of Global Impact Leadership Academy. And I'm also the visionary leader of I Believe God Ministries International. So together we partner, covenant partners, we call ourselves, in order to bring you this information, this podcast, life and leadership and beyond, because we're going to talk about business as well. So again, excited to have you here. You can actually go jump on our website if you want to find out more about us. It is Global Impact Leadership Academy.org, actually, Global Impact Leadership Academy.org. That is wrong on the screen. We will get that corrected. But it is Global Impact Leadership.org, not .com. All right. And you can find out more information about the great things that's happening over there. So without further ado, I am Juanita Corry Jackson. I'm your host, and I am a pastor. I'm a real estate broker. I'm a life coach, and I am a international best-selling author. And so I'm excited to have you join me on this journey. On the first podcast, I told you a little bit about my own story, how I went kicking and screaming to really walk in this role of leadership. But now I truly understand that it is my gifting, that it is what I was called to the world to do. I am a visionary, a transformation vision specialist. I can't get my words out today. A transformational vision specialist. What does that mean? Meaning to help you understand your vision. Transformation means that there's a change within me so that I can walk out that thing that I've been designed to do, that I've been sent to the world. And I believe that we all have a purpose and that we were sent here to the world. I was teaching in class in our Bible study at church a couple of Thursdays ago. And one of the things that we learned statistically is that only about 5 to 6% of people in the world, about 5 to 6% of people globally really understand their purpose. So what's happening to the other 94% or 95% of people is that while they might understand some aspects of it, most of them are not walking in it. And I don't know about you, but for me personally, I think it would be a shame to get back to heaven from my perspective and God say, what did you do with the talents? What did you do with the skills that I imparted to you that you never used? So my coach, Mr. Les Brown, and I know there are others who have said it as well, but that the cemetery is the richest place in the world. Why? Because those things that were meant to multiply us, that was meant to grow us, we never tap into. We spend most of our lives trying to please other people and what we call working for a living. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with getting a job. There's nothing wrong with paying your bills. You should absolutely do that. But when it becomes a detriment to your purpose and to who you were meant to be, then I think that's a disservice, right? All right, let's get into it today because our time goes really fast. So today we're talking about the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. You can course his books on Amazon and all over the place, wherever books are sold. But I think this really resonates with me. And so I want to talk about this today. So habit 1 is be proactive, be prepared, be proactive, be smart, right? We think about habit 1 and being proactive. Most of us wait for something to happen. So that's reactive, right? I'm trying to always seem like I'm trying to get ahead. And there are things that's going to happen in life, absolutely, that you can't control. There are things that's going to happen that's outside of your hand. But there are a lot of things that we can handle that we don't. We wait for permission. And one of the things that I know personally is that I have been given authority, I've been given dominion, I've been given power to rule over my sphere, my atmosphere, all right, my little plot of ground, wherever that is, wherever I plant myself. That's what I've been given dominion and power over, to take authority over my life. And how am I then going to be able to? Uh, I've been blessed, I have the ability to do it, but how am I going to be able to be proactive and take control and not just wait? I don't just wait until I get up in the morning to plan my day. Uh, Typically, my days are planned in advance, but at least minimum the night before, I want to plan out what I'm doing the next day. May things come to interrupt that? Absolutely. But I want to be proactive and I want to be prepared. So I believe life prepares us, right? If we allow it. And so, is it preparing me to run in this cycle? I often say, as the children of Israel, going in a circle for 40 years, going nowhere. Or is it actually preparing me strategically, as our Creator did, and calling things into order, into place day by day, so that I can walk it out then there accordingly? The next one is be proactive, right? That was a part of what we just talked about. But be proactive is the habit of creation. It is it is value. It is our system internally versus our external system. So what does that mean? It means that it does not matter if the sun is shining or if it's raining. That's not going to determine my values, right? It's not going to deter how I feel. Sometimes we wait till we get up out of the bed. And I used to be there. Like, I couldn't tell you what I was going to put on because I would say whatever I'm going to wear is depending on how I feel, right? So I might not feel like, for lack of a better word, being jazzy. I might feel like being dressed down in a t-shirt and jeans, right? But really, I determine my values. I determine how I want to show up in the world. And nobody else's demeanor is going to change that for me. The weather is not going to change that for me because, number one, I'm not in control of the weather. So I'm going to focus on things that I can control. And I trust the God that I serve knows what type of weather we need. He knows when I need rain, He knows when I need the sun. And so my life should not stop based on what's happening externally. I'm going to pre plan what's happening internally. And so, somebody else's attitude, how they're driving in traffic, I'm just not going to allow it to disrupt my day. Have I been there? Absolutely, I have. Man, I used to follow people home. Like, they would cut me off in traffic, and I would waste an hour following them, not even knowing where they were going or what danger could have been waiting for me on the other side. But because of their action, I wanted to have a reaction. And girl, you have a limited amount of time on this earth. Why are you wasting time based on somebody else's actions? That is not what you left home for this morning. So let's get back to the business of doing what you started to do. That puts me in control. That gives me my authority. That gives me the ability to rule and to be proactive in what I'm going to do. There are many other things we could say about it, but of course, we have a limited amount of time with you today. The next thing I want to talk to us about is begin with the end in mind. Begin with the end in mind, right? It is the habit of personal leadership. It is the habit of personal leadership. So I always talk about, here we go again, that transformational vision specialist. I believe everything is created with a vision, right? And it's determined, is it going to be your vision or is it going to be somebody else's vision? Your vision or somebody else's vision? So I want to begin with the end in mind. So I think of it as being an architect. One of the things I have the opportunity to do, of course, is work in real estate. And I would sit in the model home in the beginning of my career and watch them build a home, right? And the first thing they would do, well, even before I get to the actual work, of course, the visionary had already came up with the blueprint, I call them. They had already came up with the floor plans. They had already came up with what this house was going to be designed to look like. And then, of course, they go through preparing the ground, right? The surveys happened. The lots are then positioned off. The everything is marked out for the foundation to be laid. We have piping coming up through the ground and all of those things. When you, as the prospective homeowner, come in, you have a vision of purchasing a new home. But what you don't maybe take into consideration is somebody's already put some part of that in that community in that vision for you. They already know how many floor plans can go in that community, whether that's 5 or 10, right? Because they know already before you show up what houses will fit on the lot, right? So they've kind of already started that vision for you. You get to come in and then select one of those blueprints that somebody else has already had the idea. You can take it from that, right? And then begin to write out your vision. But the owner of that community has already started with the end in mind. They know that it's going to be a community of 250 homes or 700 homes, whatever that community will hold. They know how many plans is going to go in there. They know how much they're going to sell the ground for. They know how much they're going to sell the house for on top of that. They know how much all of the trades to put the house up is going to cost. They know how much they have taken in account, how much it's going to cost to hire the staff, right? All of those things has been taken into account. And with the end in mind, they put a price tag on that home and the ground that you come in with your vision to pay for. But their end in mind is that those 300 homes or 700 homes are going to be completed, and it's going to fill this community, and it's going to end them, it's going to net them with this dollar amount. So they start with the end in mind. I believe in our vision, in our life, in our leadership. That's exactly what we should do, is start with the end in mind. All right, listen, we're going to take a quick commercial break and we'll be right back after this. Are you a thought leader, influencer, or expert in the leadership arena? Then we'd like to invite you to consider being a guest and lend your voice to the conversation. Just scan the QR code, and we look forward to seeing you on the other side. Welcome to Global Impact Leadership Academy, where your journey to spiritual and professional growth begins. Unlock your potential with our comprehensive online education offerings, where you can choose from our many theological degree programs, dive into one of our several marketplace programs to include life coaching, Christian leadership, or a chaplaincy program. Connect with like-minded individuals through our networking opportunities. Join our dynamic Global Impact Coaches and Leaders Network, our Bureau of Officiants, and or become part of our affiliate program. Join us today. Take the first step to a brighter future. Enroll in Global Impact Leadership Academy and become a catalyst for global change and impact. All right, welcome back. If you're just joining us, I'm Juanita Corry Jackson, and I am the visionary leader for Global Impact Leadership Academy. I'm also the visionary leader for I Believe God Ministries International. Together, we partner to bring you the best of both worlds. So, education and coaching from Global Impact Leadership Academy, a little real estate thrown in there. And then from I Believe God Ministries, it is all about equip and empower you in the gifts and the Spirit of God so that you can move forward in life and do all that He's called you to do. All right. When we left off, we were talking about being proactive with the putting the starting with the end in mind, right? And we went through that whole scenario of construction and vision and them starting from the end. So I believe that you should do that as well. The number on that previous slide was off. So that was number 2. This is number 3. And it's put first things first. Put first things first. The habit of personal management. One of the things that I love to teach is time management. And I wonder why we don't manage our time, right? Everything else is managed for us, but we don't manage our time, right? Our jobs, if we work a 9 to 5 or whatever your business hours are in your place of employment, whether you follow it or not, they're trying to manage your time, right? They give you a start time and an end time. You have 30 minutes, an hour for lunch, perhaps. And then even time off, they call that, if you have it, PTO or paid time off or sick time, right? That they kind of determine if you're going to be out of work, then this is just regular paid time off, vacation time, if you will. But if you're sick, then we need to put it in this bucket. Why? Because they're starting with the end in mind. That they want to have you at work a certain amount of days for productivity's sake to be able to get the things done that they want done, and they want your hands to do it. But I see in life a lot of times that we as leaders, as just individuals, don't manage our time. Like, I am very adamant, unless there's an emergency, I need some me time in the morning. So I need some time. And when I say me time, let me back up. I need God time first. So the first thing I want to do is when I get up, I want to have some time with Him, right? To orchestrate my day. God, I've done all the planning I can do. I pre-planned to the best of my ability, but you can see further than I can. You're able to go ahead of me. And so what I'd like is, Father, is for you to order my steps in this day. If there's something wrong with this plan, as I'm writing it, I'm asking Him questions about it. But if I didn't hear you clearly before we start this day, please instruct me. Order my steps on where I should go. So I want to do that. And then I want to just be centered, right? My thoughts, like if I read something that was uh, motivational or inspirational to me, and I want to take some notes about that. Am I hearing God say something to me? I want to take some notes about that, and I jot those down. For me, a lot of times when I go back through my notes, I see promises that have been fulfilled. But I also see reminders of perhaps things I said I was going to do that I didn't get done. So it's accountability for myself. So time management, we all get 24 hours in the day. I like to say the rich does not get any more time than we do. They manage it perhaps differently to free up hours in the day, but they still get the same 24 hours. So, how are you managing your 24 hours? Are we utilizing that whole 24 hours to sleep? Are we using most of it to work for somebody else? And again, I'm not knocking that. If you have to work a 9 to 5 job, do it, right? That's your investor. He's investing in yourself. You're investing in yourself with those coins until you have your own, right? And for some people, that is the best way to go, right? Maybe you don't want to own a business. That's not what this topic is about today. But manage your time, right? Because your ruling, your dominion, your authority that you were giving from the beginning of the time is about your plot of land, and you are the land. You were made from dirt. So how am I going to manage it and be able to move according to? And I got to speed this up because we will be out of time before we know it. All right. So, number four is think win win. Think win win is the habit of interpersonal relationships. Understand that, you know what, it's enough for all of us to win. It really is. If I take my gifts, if I take my talents, God has promised me that whatever I put my hands to, He would call it to multiply. So when I'm in relationship with you, I want you to win. And if I can contribute something to your winning, then it's a win win for both of us. And I would pray that you would do the same for me, right? The old saying is treat people how you want to be treated. I don't believe that's true at all. I believe treat people how they want to be treated because everybody does not want to be treated the same as I do. And so if I am giving off this vibe to you, then that's how I want to be treated. Listen, so I cannot stand a liar, right? So tell me the truth. We're gonna get to that at the end, but tell me the truth and know that I'm gonna tell you the truth, right? If you don't want the truth, okay, let me know that and I'll treat you the way you want to be treated, and I just won't give you anything because I am not gonna give you lies, right? Uh, that's simplistic, but that's true in business. That's true in ministry. It's a win-win. No, there is no big I's and little U's. I know we try to size that up in the world standard, but really there is no big I's and little U's. We allow people to take that power or we give that power away because I don't know my own worth. I don't know my own value, but I'm here to tell you from a little girl who was I could go back to those skinny mini days. My aunt used to call me really, really skinny, wear hand me down clothes, um, got bullied in school, just don't care these days, right? It's like, dude, I know who I am. I know that I'm a king's kid. You get to celebrate that too if that's your belief, right? But because I'm a king's kid, it doesn't take anything away from you. If you understand your value, if you understand who your creator is, then you too can say the exact same thing. You don't have to look down on me because I understand my value. And so if we help each other, we can all win. All right. I don't know what's up with these slides, how these numbers got all off. But anyway, we're at number five, and it is seek first to understand, then be understood. Seek first to understand, then be understood is the habit of communication. Is the habit of communication. So it's not as important for me to make my point like in my coaching business and when I'm teaching coaches, right, when I'm training the trainers, is you got to have an ear to hear first, hear what they are saying to you. Communication comes in all forms. We have um, our body communicates, right? There's the unspoken word, right? But then not just what I'm saying with my mouth. And then sometimes even what I am saying with my mouth, sometimes there's an underlying message there. And so I want to ask questions about the question or about the answer so that I can get to what's underneath so I can seek to understand you. Then it becomes my turn to speak about me or to help in a client coaching situation, then to help shift the conversation. But I don't want to come in acting like I know everything because I don't. I want to hear your story. Tell it to me from your perspective. And I'm going to ask you questions about it, right? Because I am seeking to first understand. Because I don't really think that I can serve you well if I don't do that. If I just start talking off my own knowledge, if I just start talking about what I did in my own life, that's me trying to be understood. And I want to seek to understand first. All right. And then synergize, right? It's the habit of creating or the habit of creative cooperation, right? Again, we can win-win together, right? And listen, what happens when we do that is that we all win. We all win. Listen, if you're just joining us, I am Juanita Corry Jackson, and I am the CEO of Global Impact Leadership Academy. I am also the visionary leader for I Believe God Ministries International, and together we bring you this turnkey life and leadership podcast. Life and leadership podcast. So, without further ado, let's finish up these things that we have. One more today to talk about in our leadership, and then we're going to be ready to wrap it up. All right. All right. This is 7. My Canvas slides just changed these numbers through all throughout. So, number 7. And number 7 is sharpen the saw. Number 7 is sharpen the saw. And it is the habit of self renewal. It is the habit of self renewal. So you can't, as a leader, just pour, and never be filled up again. So you need to be able to take care of yourself. It's a reason that when you're on an airplane, they tell you that if something should happen, that you should put the mask on first. Why? Because everybody's going to be passed out if I don't take care of myself first. And then I'm giving myself the oxygen in order to be able to help you get oxygen. And I want to end today with this. I think it sharpens it, uh, brings this to a conclusion. Again, these 7 habits come from the book, The 7 Habits of Effective Leaders, or Effective People by Stephen Covey. And you can get that wherever books are sold, right? So I just picked the 7 to talk about today. But from a scripture base, I want to give it here and we'll conclude. It's from Proverbs chapter 27 and 17. Is iron sharpens iron. So one person sharpens another. As iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another. This refers to the physical process of using a piece of metal to sharpen another, to sharpen, can't read, a piece of metal to sharpen another, to sharpen, removing dullness through friction. All right, so this metal is going to sharpen the other piece of metal and it's going to remove the dullness through friction. Iron sharpens iron is accountability. It emphasizes having peers or mentors or partners who challenge you to improve. And sometimes we don't like to be challenged. We don't like for somebody to correct us. We don't like for somebody to remind us. But people of God, people of this podcast, you're going to need somebody around you that you can trust. And I'm not talking about somebody who is overbearing and somebody who is just trying to be cruel, but somebody who is really trying to help mentor you and sharpen you and stretch you perhaps and see you grow. We all need that, especially leaders. Friction is needed. And I think about in a wash machine getting the dirt out, that when you have that agitator in the wash machine, the new fancy ones now don't necessarily have that. But those old school wash machines was rubbing the clothes and causing friction because it's making sure it gets the dirt out. All right. This principle suggests that friction felt in difficult conversations or relationships isn't to stop you, but to polish and improve your character. If everything is always joy, if everything is always you are wonderful, I'd say check your circle. All right, then mutual improvement. It is about two people intentionally lifting each other up. And it is, I lost the last one. Give me 1 second. Let me grab this one back. If I can see it. And it is healthy conflict. It encourages and embraces this friction instead of avoiding it, right? So lean into it instead of avoiding it. All right. So that's going to be a wrap today, guys. I hope that this brought you value, and I hope to see you right back here next week on another episode of Turnkey Life and Leadership Podcast. I'm your host, Juanita Corry Jackson. It's been a pleasure to spend this 30 minutes with you. I'll see you next week. Have a great day.